Hi there, my name is Michelle Demery and I'm the founder of MissDiamondRing.com. Today we're going to be talking about cushion cuts and radiant cuts, both equally popular and very similar, but also very different. So we're going to talk about the shapes. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons of the color and clarity and what those shapes offer, because they actually have similar pros and cons. You just have to decide which one is right for you. My clients generally, if they're shopping for a cushion cut, they're also considering radiant cuts, and it's kind of like a back and forth. So I thought I would include them both in this video because they have the same pros and cons. So let's start with the differences. The main difference between a cushion cut and a radiant cut is a cushion cut it's a brilliant cut. It has 58 facets, and a radiant cut has 70 facets. So you have the different in faceting. The radiant is known for having more brilliance, meaning just more sparkle. It has a flat table, so it allows the light to bounce down and back up, right? So you get like really big time crushed ice look on a radiant. And a cushion cut, having 58 facets, is known for having more, it has a smaller table, but it has a different kind of fire. It does offer similar fire to like a round brilliant, where you get that beautiful rainbow and you have a lot of white light scintillation. There are different types of cushion cuts, whereas there's only one type of radiant cut. And the cushion cuts, there's a modified cushion brilliant and a cushion brilliant. The modified cushion brilliant is very similar to a radiant cut, where it has that crushed ice look and a ton of fire and brilliance. And then a cushion brilliant has more elongated facets and more of an elegant sparkle. So good to keep in mind when you're looking at cushions. There's not just one cushion. There's cushion modified brilliant and cushion brilliant. And then when you're looking at radiant cuts, there's really just the radiant cut. Now, in terms of the overall shape and the difference of the two, the radiant has beveled corners, right? So when you think about a Tiffany cut, the princess cut is like a perfect square. Well, a radiant is generally more elongated. Sometimes it can be squared, but it's generally more elongated, like a 1:1:5 or 1:2 ratio. And then the corners are cut like that. So you have more angles, like more sharp angles, which can give it kind of a bolder, stronger feel energetically. It can have more of like an Art Deco look if you want it to. Now with the cushion cut, it's named after a cushion, a pillow cushion. It's soft, it's very feminine, and the corners are always more rounded. And a cushion, whether it's a cushion modified or a cushion brilliant, it can be, like a perfectly square cushion where it's a 1:1 ratio, or more elongated where it's a 1:2 ratio. Now, what I will say is when you find an elongated cushion brilliant, cushion modified brilliant, or a elongated radiant cut, a lot of times it will make the stone look larger. And I will say, like right now, my clients it's very popular to find an elongated stone, whether it's an oval, an elongated cushion, or an elongated radiant. Everybody's wanting that. So the benefit of that is it ends up looking a little bit larger. The carat weight is a little bit more stretched out and spread out. So by nature, it just looks bigger. So that's a great thing. Now, when it comes to how to spend your dollars wisely on a cushion or a radiant cut, you want to think about the two factors that really impact the price, which is the color and the clarity. So when it comes to the clarity, you can take a shortcut with cushion modified brilliant and radiant cuts. Because of all of the faceting, especially radiance, it's more difficult to see the inclusions, much more difficult. So you can go, obviously being in the range of VS1 and VS2 is ideal, but you can be in the SI1, SI2 range fairly comfortably if you have the right inclusions and they're not visible. And because the radiant cut is it's a flat table and like you see everything, you'd want the inclusions to be more on the perimeter and more like a twinning wisp instead of like something more apparent or obvious. But you can do that and save yourself more money to put toward the color, because color is very important, especially on a radiant and definitely on a cushion. I would say more important on a radiant than definitely more important than a cushion, because radiants show color more. So I would definitely stay G color or above for a radiant. And for a cushion cut, you can stay H color and above. And to recap the color scale, it starts at D. D is colorless, and it goes all the way to Z. If you can imagine that, it goes all the way to Z. But most retail shops, and myself included, we carry from D color to J color, unless otherwise specified. I've sourced Ks and Ls and Ms for clients before. So D, E, F is colorless. G, H, I, J is near colorless. For a cushion cut, H color and above is great. And especially if you have an expert sourcing you an H color that faces up like a G color, that is a huge win. But for a radiant cut, I would definitely stay G color and above, if and when possible. Otherwise, it just shows darker and it shows color more. It just does. Cuts like an emerald cut or a round brilliant, you can get away with lower color. You just can, because it doesn't show the same. So that's important to keep in mind. In terms of the cut grade, it starts at excellent, goes to very good, good, fair. You really want to stay in the excellent to very good range if and when possible. Now, when you're looking at, remember I said you have a cushion modified brilliant and a cushion brilliant. When you're looking at a cushion brilliant, I'm okay going to the good range on cut grade, because those are a little bit different. A lot of those are older cuts that were hand cut. They weren't cut with lasers, so you can't achieve that perfection or precision. So they have more character, and it's just a beautiful stone. And it may have like a very good or a good rating, but it's just a gorgeous stone. So that is its own little category, and that kind of falls into people shopping for, antique cuts and old European cuts and old minor cuts and all of that. Just a different ball game. But if you're looking for a standard cushion or radiant cut, stay in the excellent to very good range. And in terms of fluorescence, it's always ideal to be none to faint, unless it's a lower colored stone and the fluorescence positively impacts the stone. You can only do that, like you should never buy a stone online sight unseen with strong fluorescence. You need to actually see it or have an expert look at it for you and tell you, okay, this improves the appearance of the stone, or this negatively impacts the appearance of the stone. And fluorescence, just to share with you, fluorescence is the presence of boron and other elements like nitrogen in the stone. That is basically how it reacts to UV radiation. And, in most cases, it doesn't negatively impact the stone. In more cases than not, it does not. But sometimes it can make a stone appear milky, hazy, blue. And of course, if you go into a nightclub where all those UV lights are going, your stone will be glowing in the dark, which in some countries is a very cool thing to do. Like Denmark, everyone buys strong fluorescent stones, so when they're out clubbing, like their rings are glowing, which, it's kind of cool. It all depends on what's important to you. So that's cushions and radiance. Definitely buy GIA certified, and definitely choose the ratio that will be most flattering on her finger, because the size of her ring finger, you want to be mindful. If she is a petite size, the stone will look bigger. If she has like a 6.5 to 7.5 ring finger, then you're going to need to be more mindful of a ratio that is wider and covers her finger more, or add some side stones just so it looks commensurate and appropriate with her overall frame. So I hope you found this helpful. Congrats on finding the one, and reach out if I can help any further. Go to missdiamondring.com and learn more, or you can email us. I read every email at sparkle@missdiamondring.com. All right, have a beautiful day and talk soon.